for the green flag. 43 cars nosed into their pit stalls, one crew member standing alongside, and just now we see the cars beginning. Those that want to get out there now, making their way off the end of pit road and out onto this 2-mile speedway here, the Auto Club Speedway of Southern California. And you know, all you got to do, Steve Coast, if anybody debates whether this was a good move or not, we not look down on the grandstands here on tonight's crowd has turned out as the green flag waves and we are underway.
Back here at Auto Club Speedway in Southern California, all qualified. Auto Club 400. Nice. A really big crowd for a qualifying session here on Friday afternoon. Laps of it, and we talked about a new track record. Jeff, we have it. Kevin Harvick has put the car at the top of the speed chart.
That now becomes the time to beat. Kevin Harvick with a new track record. Matt Kenseth across the line. He now just jumped up to that number 2 spot. Jeff Gordon is 3rd, Clint Boyer 4th, and Martin Truex Jr. is 5th. 13 cars, Steve, taking an opportunity to come out early, and now all of a sudden, the track virtually quiet.
Yeah, a little bit of a lull here in the action as everyone tries to strategize when they need to come out. You talked about the top 5. Let's give you back your 13. Brian Vickers, 6th fastest. Tony Stewart, 7th fastest. A.J. Allmendinger was the 8th fastest car. Brad Keselowski, 9th fastest. They have been qualified 9 of those. 9th fastest in the because Keselowski may not be able to get another good shot at this, although just
He got the pole at Phoenix. He was runner-up at Bristol. That team, including his teammate Joey Logano, out of the blocks very quick.
You know, and this is interesting. Brad's a smart guy. Those guys really know. The goal in this first round is to get inside the top 24. Now, granted, Kevin Harvick is going to take the track record, or whoever goes faster is going to take the track record, but the goal is to be inside the top 24. Do you risk laying down that rocket fast lap, saving a little bit of those tires for the second round or saving a little for the third round? Well, stay tuned. We'll see what happens with Brad Keselowski. He's 10th of 17 cars. Now, the risk of that is if you're 25th or worse, and it doesn't matter, you don't move on. So, interesting to see what those guys are doing on the number 2 car.
Some of those guys that were just out for a lap and now back on the pit road, nobody really laying down anything spectacular. Kyle Busch is better than 11th right now, getting factory 12. Across the line up there. Follow him and take him around the track, kind of give our listeners an idea of what it's like to run here at Auto Club.
This is a deep-shaped race line. So he is midway down the back straightaway now, working down into turn number 3. A lot of talk on the radios during practice about what line to use through turns 3 and 4 and down to 1 and 2. Denny choosing the line right about the middle of the racetrack. Now as he comes to the rounded out deep portion of Speedway, right back down to the white line to cut as short as possible. Fastest of the 20 cars now that have taken time. So solid lap for Denny Hamlin, but an interesting way
Start finish line, and Jamie will go to 14th. Now we talked down the saw Jeff take advantage, come out right away, laid down a pretty good lap. He's third. What about Jimmy Johnson? What is he waiting for, Alex?
Jimmy just got in the race car, Jeff, buckled up, put it in reverse after he fired up. Jimmy Johnson's headed out onto the 2-mile Auto Club Speedway. Now, they wanted to get an idea. They wanted to get a gauge on what everybody else was going to do in their qualifying trim. Now, during the practice session, we had one only practice this afternoon here at Auto Club Speedway. Everybody was working on their own agenda. This should be attention to the competition. These competitors are getting to see exactly where they're going to stack up, knowing what they're
So how fast does Jimmy Johnson? We're about to find out. Right up against that outside safer barrier this time. Steve Post not running down at the bottom of the racetrack. Not just inches off the wall.
second fastest for Jimmy Johnson, 38.306. That is it is, let me see, Kevin Harvick. Jimmy Johnson slots in second.
Kevin Harvick, right now, he's the quickest here at the Auto Club Speedway. 3/1000th of a second is second. Joey Logano third, Matt Kenseth fourth, Jeff Gordon is fifth. We got a long way to go here in knockout qualifying round 1. From Auto Club Speedway of Southern California, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
We've got just over 15 minutes. Session of knockout qualifying here at Auto Club Speedway, and we now have 27 cars that have gone out. The slowest being Joe Nemechek aboard the number 66 machine, which is being Kevin Harvick. Kenseth, Jeff
really had that car twisted sideways off turn number 2, and Austin not getting the lap that he was looking for at that point, so we'll see how he shakes out as we get further in 17th fastest. Drivers going out, we've talked about drivers not going out. Alex, what's going on down there? Where are the drivers at? What's happening at this point?
Well, 43 cars are entered, Steve. 32 is on the track, and he just does go across the start-finish line. So he is our 32nd driver to take time. So that means there's 11 who have not gone out yet. One of those is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Pit lane. Keep in mind, these cars are taped up to keep as much aerodynamic flow over the front of these race cars as they can possibly get it. On this 2-mile racetrack, you do not want to overheat the engine any more than what you have to. So what Dale Jr., and matter of fact, the rest of the teams are doing, they fire the car. You mentioned that they're nosed into the inside wall. Out of these cars and add 4 gallons of cold water, getting ready if they have to go back out.
13 minutes in, 12 remain. So we're just about to make that halfway point. 37. Complete his lap. Right now, Steve, he's working at the bottom of the racetrack over in 3 and 4. Let's follow him. Kind of an opposite line of his teammate Jimmy Johnson, who was right up against the outside safety barrier.
Crosses line is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Not too good, 26th fastest. So let's see the 183.599 miles per hour. Kevin Harvick is fastest, again a new track record, 187.875 miles per hour. Jimmy Johnson second fastest. Joey Logano is third. Matt Kenseth is fourth. Jeff Gordon is fifth. Sixth spot is Clint Boyer. Seventh is Martin Truex Jr. Eighth is Kurt Busch. Ninth is Brian Vickers and Tony Stewart in the 10th spot.
11th right now, Marcus Ambrose. 12th, Denny Hamlin. Kyle Larson is 13th. AJ Allmendinger 14th. Brian Newman 15th. 16th at this point, Brad Keselowski, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Kyle Busch is 19th. In fact, check that. Austin Dillon 19th. Kyle Busch just bumped back to the 20th spot.
Well, there's your 20 cars right there. 21st is Jamie McMurray. 22nd is Greg Biffle. 23rd is Danica Patrick. And 24th is Casey Kane. Now, the bumping starts, and Casey Kane is the man on that 24th place bubble. David Gilliland 25th, Justin Allgaier 26th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 27th, Casey Mears is 28th, Matt Crafton subbing for Paul Menard is in the 29th spot, and Cole Witt is 30th.
And we'll round out the 39 drivers that have qualified so far. Reed Sorensen 31st, Brian Scott 32nd, Josh Wise 33rd, 34th, Alex Bowman. David Reagan is 35th, 36th to Joe Nemechek, Ryan Truex is 37th. And Steve, let's just remind our listeners once again, obviously we have a new format in qualifying for NASCAR. Taking the top 24 and moving them on. Just walk us through that one more time.
Well, the top 24 in speed after this first 25-minute segment, move on to segment 2, which is a 10-minute segment. We'll cut that 24 down to the top 12. The time during that segment is what counts. This first time doesn't count in that second segment, so they've got to go try to do it again. Right now, Carl Edwards, a guy that's on the racetrack, we're watching him work 2 turns 3 and 4. Casey Kane is the driver on the bubble. Edwards picked up the win last week at Bristol. We'll see if he breaks
we're following everything along, of course, on social media all weekend long. You can get in the game as well with us. Follow us using @MRN Radio on Twitter, the hashtag AskMRN. We've been tweeting some of the pictures here to give you an idea of what the scene is like down on pit road. Right now, I'm in Kevin Harvick's pit stall. He's sitting in the car with the helmet off, and he's got a fan vision. His crew chief, Rodney Childers, does too. They're talking to each other, monitoring who's doing what to decide if they need to go out again right now. Of course, right now with the track record lap that you guys mentioned, that probably will not happen, but they're just sitting there as well. But it's interesting to watch how they're keeping up with the electronic devices, what's going on with other cars and on pit road, and trying to make decisions on the fly as to what they need to do. But you can participate as well. Tell us if you have questions, comments, whatever, at MRN Radio, and use the hashtag AskMRN.
Yes, indeed. So we are 17 minutes and 30 seconds into the qualifying run, and we will see what the final few minutes bring of this first session from the Auto Club Speedway of Southern California.